Hi everybody, it's Crafty Crystal W here. I am trying something new today, so you can see all of the mess that is behind me, but you can also see what I'm doing and you can see my face. So I am trying it out this way today. I'm just gonna wait for other people to join us. Today we are going to be playing with the World of Good suite. It is seriously one of my favorites. I'm just looking on my desk for the stamp set. Here it is. Okay, so this is the World of Good stamp set, and it comes with all of the stamps you see. Some of the sentiments are, so you can see the stamps there. Life's a beautiful journey. Adventure awaits. You make the world a better place. Thank you for being a part of mine, and congratulations on this new beginning. And there are so many different things that you can do with this set. It's incredible. So I've been trying to think outside of the box and do an unconventional card. And then these are the dies that it comes with. So it comes with all of these dies in the bundle, in the suite. And they all work together like one cohesive unit. So it's pretty exciting. Hi, Shelly! Thanks for joining me today. So I'm gonna get started because why not? So I have cut a piece of Cajun Craze, and this is your standard cut of a 5 and, oh my gosh, I've totally forgot. Where's my cutter? Okay. I totally forgot. Okay, 5.5 by, and then it scored it at 4 1/4. I can't believe I forgot that. That is like, it's like the main measurement. So 5.5, and I've scored it 4 1/4. And so that's what gives us our card shape. So then I'm going to go and do a little bit of distressing with my favorite technique, which you have probably seen before if you've seen one of my Spotlight or Teach Me Tuesday videos. You have seen that I love the sponge technique. When I made mine, I didn't sponge it till the very end. Don't do that. It's not a great idea. So I'm going to sponge it right now using one of our daubers, dip it on in the ink, and just do the edges. Now you'll have to dip it. I just keep dipping it to make different looks, and I don't really want to rush it even though I'm being watched, because I don't like to rush a project unless I absolutely have to, because that's when you make mistakes, and that's when like you make measurement mistakes, or my favorite, you think that you're scoring through a card and you actually cut it in half. That sucks, right? Oh, thank you. The ink I'm using is Early Espresso. So Early Espresso is the best for doing any kind of distressing on any color, really. This is actually a technique we use in the theater world too. And I always use a dark brown and a dry brush technique or a sponge technique to make it look old. So I'm going to do a little bit inside the suitcase too, because this suitcase has traveled far and wide. So you can see there, hopefully, yeah, you can see there that there is the distressing happening there. So that's super fun. So the second thing we're going to do is we're going to cut to make room for the handle. So see how the handle is in there, and that just folds in when you put it in the envelope, but it's a super cute handle for your suitcase. So you are going to take a pair of scissors very carefully, and you're going to cut in the middle. You do not cut all the way down the middle, obs, because you will literally cut the card in half. So you are going to cut a little bit and then a little bit about in the middle. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle either. It can just be on the side, but that is what we're going to do. So I just did maybe 1/2 inch, and then I made a space, and then I did another 1/2 inch hole. so that you have these two little holes poking out here. Okay? Then we're going to attach the handle last so we don't have to worry about it. Now we can decorate the outside of our card. So the first thing that I did was use our new Early Espresso suede ribbon. So cute. And I just give it a little cut. So you're going to want to cut the length of the card. And actually, I think I can use, yeah, I can. So what I did was I'm going to leave a little bit, and then I'm going to cut this little piece down here. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other one and keep these little pieces. We need these little pieces. So again, I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge, and then I'm going to give it a cut. Okay. Those little pieces are going to become the little tags that are right here. So if you see, it looks like it's actually closed. That's what those little pieces are going to become. So we are going to get our, what are these? We are going to get our little embellishments, if you will. These are like antique, what are they called? I really have to learn the new names, seriously. Like, I've only been through the catalog a million times, but it'll come. It'll come. I'm not going to beat myself up too much. Antique corners and slide elements. So this is what you want. These are so cute. And I wasn't actually going to buy them at first, but then I thought, well, I really want to see what the whole suite can do. So I decided to buy them. And I'm happy with this purchase. I've used them on many different cards. They're so cute. But of course, they are what make this, the detail of this suitcase, so amazing. So you're just going to feed it through one side, loop, and then pull. And you should have that on there. Ta! So then, before we do anything else, you're going to feed another piece through. Okay, so it's a little tricky. If you hold it down like this, see that big hole? I'm just going to go through like that. Ta-da! And then hold it on the other side so that it's nice and open. And go through like so. Da-da-da. Oh. And go through like so. Okay, almost. Almost. Oh no. Oh no, it's the nails. Pretty nails or frustration crafting, or nails that fall apart and no frustration crafting. I'm gonna go with pretty nails. Because that's just, but it's really, it did not take this long last when I did it the first time. Okay, so then you will have two in there. You see? There's one on one side and one on the other. So to make this look authentic and like it is actually just one piece, we are going to use a glue dot on one side. Pick up my glue dot and I just fold it down so that it actually stays. And then you are going to secure that top piece to the glue dot. Okay, so it looks like that. And then you're just going to trim this piece. So we have that little tag. You're just going to trim it like so. And so we have the two pieces. And then, because it wouldn't just be, it's not just going to hang out for you there. You're going to kind of lose it. I use a dimensional to kind of pop it up so that it looks like it's actually holding the suitcase closed. It's all about the little details. So it should look like this. Doo-doo. Okay, so we do that for one side. Then, where are you, adhesive? Right in front of my face. Then I use the snail to secure that on. La, la, la. And then, oh, I've put my handle in a really weird spot, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. We're gonna make it work. Okay, so you have these two. Try and get it as straight as you can, but leather wears over time. So if this was like a suitcase from the Titanic, it's gonna be a little bit weathered, right? And then I just trim these pieces. This just allows me to make mistakes. Like if I cut it exactly this exact length, then I have nowhere to go. So I like to leave a little bit of an edge. Okay, so we're gonna make another one of those, doing the exact same thing we did before. So we thread one of these teeny itty bitty antique, what's this thing called? Slide? It's called slide. I don't know. It looks like a belt buckle. Yeah. So I'm gonna slide the mini belt buckle through, and it can be the same. It depends what kind of crafter you are. If you want it to be the same at the same spots, then it's totally fine. But I like to mix it up. So I'll have one lower and one higher. Because who really makes sure that it's exactly even when you're traveling? That's my question to you. Nobody. So then you're going to pull them back and fit your second short piece through. La, la. I'm going to use tweezers this time. It might be a tiny touch easier. Yes! Yes, queen! Okay, so then we're going to use that glue dot to keep it stuck. So I've got my glue dot on there. I don't know if you can hear that. This is crafting realness. Okay, go ask Daddy for it. And then I'm just going to pull it down a bit. Okay, I hear you, dude. You can. Like so. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. And then, of course, we're going to put the little mini. They're in the kitchen, Mars. Sorry about that. I have 3 children. They're 8, 6, and 4. And it seems like every time I want to do a live, they show up. Super fun. Okay, so I've got that dimensional on there, so it's giving it a little bit of a oomph, if you will. And then we are not going to put it on yet. So just put it to the side and don't lose it. Don't do what I do and lose it. Okay, so now, oh gosh. Now we're going to do the little corners. So see those little corners on there? Those actually come with the antique corners and slide elements in there. So we're going to use 4 of these. Ba-da-da. 3. Oh gosh. Come on, nails. Ha-ha! 4. Okay. And I'm just going to close that because otherwise that's going to fall over later. And I'm going to lose them all. So the easiest way to adhere these is the glue dots. Hands down. Hands down. Glue dots. Don't fight with your adhesive on these things. It will not keep it on there. And I'm going to try and make them as straight as possible. But again, in realistic life, this suitcase would have seen some things. So it wouldn't necessarily be perfect. See, I just dropped it. Oh, there it is. It's the same color as the paper. Okay. So it doesn't have to be this paper either. Like you could make like a Hawaiian one. Or like if somebody's going away, which is nobody right now. Sorry. Oh, but if somebody was going away, you could make them a suitcase. You could also make a suitcase for a graduate or a college student, a student going off to university, a bride and groom. Yes, totally. Oh my goodness, there's so many things you could do. Or you could make like a teeny tiny suitcase and put it in a scrapbook. So the possibilities are endless. Okay, so I have stuck down all 4 of my corners, and now it's really starting to look like an antique suitcase. But notice here, there's a couple things missing. So on this one, we have beautiful paper that goes with this suite. It's absolutely gorgeous. So here's one of the pages. I'll just show you. And this is the back. The other side. We have this beautiful foily one. And this is the other side. We have this one. I already showed it to you. We have this one, which is one of my favorites. And then the yellow on the other side. We have this blue one with writing. This is also one of my favorite ones. I've used it in a lot of things. And then we have the new cinnamon color with a map on the other side. So when I first saw the new catalog, and then we have this guy. So I'm going to use a piece of this. And as you see, I have cut out, sorry. Ooh, I have cut out 2 holes because one of them was from my other suitcase, and I've pre-cut this little worldly dude. Ba-da! So I'm just gonna stick it onto my suitcase. I'm gonna figure out where the strap, where I'm thinking I'm gonna put the strap, and then I'm gonna put it, just tuck it in a little bit underneath it. You don't need to glue dot this sucker because it's paper. It just goes in under there. So we can do that. And then we're going to make this little guy here. So this little square one that kind of looks like a sticker from somewhere. I took it and I just cut out of the 6x6 in color DSP. All I did, oh, there we go. I'm just going to put this away, otherwise I'll lose it, is I cut a tiny rectangle. That's so cute. See? Teeny titty. Teeny tiny. Okay, and then all I did, oh yeah, there it is, so this one says, congratulations on this new beginning. So I don't want to put that whole thing on there because, let's face it, it's definitely not going to fit. And it wasn't necessary. So instead, I just used beginning. And I just inked this. Where are you, beginning? Oh, there you are. New beginning. So I just inked the beginning. Just like that, using my Stampin' Spots because they're back. And I just stamped away. And I stamped on it until I was happy with it and could still see some of the color through it. But you can also, oh my gosh, I dropped it. You can also, if you look up close, read, it says beginning. I feel like I need a new light. Here, can you see it better now? Oh, yes. Okay, so I just kind of stamped everywhere on it. I don't want that to drop on my head. That'd be bad. And then I just stuck that on using the same technique with my fancy dancy snail, which, by the way, is being they've redone the snail, and there's a new one. I know. So it just goes right here, this little tiny triangle. Mine's a little bit smaller, but that's okay. And I'm going to put it right there. And then to make the compass, this little portion right here, all I did was take this guy. Okay, so this is the stamp. And I know there was a block here somewhere. Aha, okay. And then I used Pretty Peacock. Again, I love my Stampin' Spots. They're usually what's at my desk, and then you can see my inks are all back there. But I love the Stampin' Spots, and I love that they're back. Did you know they're back? You can get a set of 8 of them, and there's a bunch of colors, and it's $33. And it's like perfect for the beginner stamper that's not sure if they're going to go into this or not. Kind of dip their toe in. It's great because it comes with all of those colors. So there's my little compass, and I'm going to make time easier and not cut it out, but punch it out. Holy Dinah, that's not an easy, that was not a Stampin' Up! Punch. I'm just saying. That's why it was so hard to use. So there's my little guy, and he looked a little clean to me, so I just inked this with some Granny Apple Green and kind of just went around it to give it that aged kind of look. So there we go. And then just stick that on underneath. So then you have those 3 little details on there. Those little, I don't know what they're called. Are they called suitcase stickers or patches or bumper stickers? I don't know. Whatever you stick to your suitcase. And then now's the time to put on our second leather strap. So I'm gonna glue that nicely, make sure there's a nice amount of glue, kind of make it even to the other side, and there that is. So the front of the suitcase is basically designed and finished. Oh, except I gotta make the tag, and the tag is super cute and super easy. So let's do that next. So we've made all of the parts except for the little luggage tag. So that is super fun. I was trying to think of how to make one. What can I use? What can I use? And I looked at our new little mini jar punch, which is in the new catalog, which is adorable. And I used it. So I just punched it out like so. And cut off the top of the jar. Ta-da! Now, you're like, Krista, that's amazing. How did you get the other part? I'm going to show you. So all you're going to do is you're going to punch it out next in Very Vanilla. Okay, so this first one was Misty Moonlight, new in color. And then you're going to use Very Vanilla. And you cut off the top again. And then I did a little cut around it too, so that the concentration tongue. Okay, so it should be a little bit smaller. Yes, it is a tiny bit smaller, but that's perfect. We don't need it to be totally, you know, it doesn't have to be completely smaller. It can be a little bit bigger. So this is too clean for this project. So of course I'm going to use my distressing technique using Early Espresso. Thanks, Shelly, for the reminder. And voila, looks like a pirate map. Am I right? Like, if I had known this when I was in school making all of those burned edge papers, you know, the ones where we dyed them with coffee, which, by the way, tea works better. And then, like, I would have been set. But I didn't know that. Full disclosure. So then we're going to use Adventure Awaits for this person, whoever we're going to give it to. And the other beautiful part of these is that you don't need a pad because they are the red rubber stamps. So I just put it wherever it would fit. Adventure awaits. Okay, and then when I attached it to this little thing, I used a dimensional and I put it kind of off kilter a bit, like this, so that it kind of looked like it was swinging. So I'm going to go ahead and use a dimensional on there. And ta-da, ta-da, adventure awaits, and make sure I put it on the right way. That's always good. Like so. So cute, right? Okay, but it needs that little band that is right here. So I just took a piece of scrap paper. It doesn't matter how big it is. The measurement of this doesn't really matter. I just took a piece of scrap, which we all have, and I cut a little strip of it. Whoops. I almost cut my finger off. That would have been an awesome video. Okay, and then I just curled it like this. So I just took my thumb, kind of like when you're curling present ribbon, right? And I took it, I glued one end to it. Ta-da. I glued this one end to it, and then I glued the other end to it, like so. So you should have this little luggage tag, which would also be a super cute card, no? Like one of those slider cards, it'd be so cute. Okay, so then I made, what did I make? I made a little kind of like a key ring, if you can see that. There it is. A little key ring, and Rosemary Coleman showed me how to do this. But basically, all you do is you punch with a little circle punch. I believe it's like 1/4 of an inch. Oh, yeah, 3/4 of an inch. You cut with that guy first, the little one, and then you go in and cut with the big one over top to make this little ring. Now, we don't have the little circle punches anymore, which is kind of sad. Everyone's kind of sad about it. We've mourned the loss of the circle punch. But we do have framelits that will do this too. And you can do it at the exact same time. You can put your big one on and then the smaller one. And then you're just going to slice a little tiny slice in there to go onto your handle. So we have this. Okay? And now I bet you've just figured out it's time to make the handle. So I'm just going to look for my early espresso, and of course, can I find it? No, because I'm unalive. So that seems to happen. Happens to the best of us. It's like totally disappeared. Okay, well that's fine, because guess what? I have a ton of scraps over here. So let's just make a gray one. We'll make a gray one and call it a day. So I'm just going to measure and look at where the two little slots are. I don't know if you can see that. You see where those two little bumps are? That's kind of where I'm measuring. And you're going to, I just freehand this instead of using the cutter because I find it a little bit easier. But you do you, boo. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. Whatever works for you. And mine are a little bit off center, which I don't like. It's going to drive me bananas. So I'm just going to fix that slit. Slice it a little bit bigger. There we go. And you want it to be a pretty decent size square. Okay, you don't want to cut a tiny handle because you need a place for it to stick. I keep getting ink all over everything. I'm closing this. Maybe. Yes. Closing. Okay. So it's important that it is bigger. Okay, longer for sure. So then that looks like it's going to fit in there. So I am just going to, basically I'm just going to cut like a U shape. Whoopsie. Like this. Ta-da! And then we are just going to fit these little two pieces into these little holes here. So let's do that now. Pause this video if you are not ready to move on. So then it's right in there in the card, and there's two little thingies there. Okay, so just kind of gauge where you want that handle, and then see, these are pretty long. You can leave them there or you can trim them. I'm going to trim them just because I want to. And then you are going to put your adhesive on there and glue them down to this part of your card. So if this is the way it opens, it's going to be glued down to that part there. So I'll fold them back, add some adhesive, and glue those down. Got some adhesive there, but good thing I have an adhesive eraser. Ta-da! Okay, so now those are glued, and that's our handle. And then, of course, I always distress it because it just looks like I've replaced the handle on a suitcase that's like 100 years old. So you kind of want to still go with that theme of vintage and doing that by distressing that little piece there. Okay, so now you're like, Krista, what do I do next? You attach your little taggy thing. So you're just going to put it in through there. Okay, see where it's open? And you just glue it to the handle, just to the bottom of the handle there. And I glue it so that you can't really see that it opens. And then you're going to swing this over however you want to put it. And I put it on a dimensional just to keep it sticking up so that it looks like, hi Mom, my mom's here. So that it looks like we are going traveling. Okay, there we go. Oopsie. My mom loves to travel. She's missing it. Now, do you see what I did? I put the tag on upside down. But it's okay because it swings, right? So even if it is upside down, they're going to be like, oh, adventure awaits. That's so cute. Yay. So now, because we have this ugly piece here that looks like two teeth jetting out of nowhere, we have to cover that. So we are going to take some designer series paper and make the inside. The inside is super easy. It's using techniques that I've already talked about. So you're just going to use the designer paper in Bumblebee. Oh, guys, I just got so confused as to which card is which because they look identical. Okay, so you're going to cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. Ta-da! And that should fit perfectly. Now, I always like to test it and make sure it's going to fit perfectly before I glue it down. Years of learning I'm sharing with you right now. So yeah, it fits. I like it. Cool. Again, it looks too new, so we're going to do that sponging technique. But this time I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for something different. So, oh Lord. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going, and I just like wing it. There is no rhyme or reason to this. I just put it on the edges. It's going to give it a weird, like kind of like a weird green, but it actually really works. At first when I did it, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. And then I put it all together, and of course I was like, I love it. I'm going to take pictures of it and put it everywhere. I know, let's do it on Thursday. So thanks for joining me today. Okay, so I have done that, and you can do a little bit inside as well. I just do like a couple, and the best way to do that is to keep this moving. If you stab at it, it's just going to leave a polka dot, and then you're going to be like, oh, Krista, and I'm going to be like, that's not my fault. You stabbed. Okay, then, where did I put it? Yeah, in the corner, I'm just going to have that very same compass stamp. Ta-da! Stamp that in the corner, and then I stamped congratulations on this new beginning in the inside, because I thought that that was a great place to put it. So this could literally be anything. It could be somebody traveling, but it could also be somebody who's retiring. It could be somebody who's beginning a new job. It could be anything. So this set is a lot more versatile than I thought. And I'll show you some examples of the stuff I've made with it. So then I'm just going to glue this in. So I have it stamped. Congratulations on your new beginning. A little thing in the corner. This goes in like this and kind of hides our suitcase better. And voila! You have your suitcase and you have your little inside message. And anybody would love to receive one of these because they're so cool. I want to try and make Harry Potter ones because I think that would be really cool. And I'm a super big Harry Potter fan. So we are having a Harry Potter birthday. One of my kids will at one point. These are going to be the invitations. What? Yes! Or I'm going to make howlers. I'm just not sure yet. The possibilities are endless when I start talking about Harry Potter. And so that is the card we made today. I call it the suitcase card because that's pretty much what it is. And that's about it. That is all I did. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me, email me at craftykrista@gmail.com, or you can message me on my Facebook, or you can message me at my store at craftykrista.ca. On my store, I have lots of kits available, so everything is cut for you, and you just have to stick it all together, which is pretty awesome. And yeah. So until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, and keep on crafting. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.